love. We are love. We are live. Yo, I am excited about this topic. I don't know why. I'm very excited about this topic. Yeah. We are defining toxic. Everybody uses this word. Toxic, everything's toxic, everything's toxic. All relationships is toxic, all people are toxic. We are toxic people. We're gonna define it tonight though. So y'all can get some more context on why this is attractive. Why is toxicity attractive, guys? Mhm. I don't know. Most people will define different relationships that they have been in as toxic. I've realized that. And I want to know, what do people think toxic is? Like, what is the definition of toxic? When people say that's toxic, that's she toxic, he toxic, oh, I gotta fall back, this person toxic. What does that mean? What does that mean to be toxic? Hmm? I have a clear definition of what it means to be toxic. Real quick, I'm key sticking to it. You can go on keylifecoaches.com. You can book me for 30-minute and 60-minute sessions. I am available. Okay. So you can book me 12 o'clock at night on a Sunday. All right. Y'all can book me. All right. But here's my definition of toxic. Okay. My definition of toxic is a person who does you wrong, then do things to pull you back in just to do you wrong again. That's my definition of toxic. A person who does you wrong, then reels you back in just to do you wrong again. That's my definition of toxic. So listen, y'all, this can come in the form of from your parents, obviously your significant others. That's the number one, culprit. But this can come from everybody, your kids, bad friends. This 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 can come from anybody. Okay? So you have to identify where you're dealing with this toxic behavior from, and you have to cut it. You have to cut it. You have to cut it. This can't be something that you can fight, fix, none of that. You have to cut it when you are dealing with this level of toxic behavior. Just that simple. It has to be cut. Okay? So, how do we manage that? How do we deal with toxic people? Again, real quick, I just want to define my definition of toxic. My definition of toxic is a toxic person is someone who does you wrong and then is nice enough to pull you back in just to do you wrong again. That is my definition of a toxic person. Does anybody I want to know, as people come in here, who is dealing with this level of toxicity? We might as well talk, Cat, since we in here together. You ever deal with that? You ever deal with that? Tell me, Kat, you ever deal with that? Toxic behaviors like that? If so, from who? And how did you manage it? If so, from who? And how did you manage this toxic person? Let me see. Before, I used to have this friend who fights with me. Yeah, like, then pull me back in and do it again. Crazy. See, you describing. Hello, Quiet Bloom. I'm sorry. I'm just now seeing your messages. I just had to click on something. Um, but yeah, Quiet Bloom. See the definition I gave about toxic people. That's exactly what they do. That's the definition of toxic behaviors. We hear the word toxic over and over and over in this climate. Like everybody on social media is talking about this person is toxic and that person is toxic, but nobody is defining what that is. Okay. And, I had to put a definition to it so we can really, analyze this. Okay. And these behaviors and pinpoint it so we are not victim to this. Okay. This is a very manipulative tactic that very messed up people use. So, what did you do with this friend that did this to you? Like, how did it end? Are you still friends? How did you manage this toxic friend? I moved away. You had to physically move away. I don't want to put no pressure on you, but if you want to come on here and talk to me right now, emotionally, listen. You can come on here and talk to me right now if you want to. Do you want to come on here and talk? Quiet Bloom. It can be quick. We can talk about this real quick. I want to know how you managing. How you dealing with it? Do you miss the friend? I don't know if you've seen our live, but we had a live about friendship breakups. It was really good. It was really good. Oh shit! I'm sorry. Got it. All right, I got it. All right, I got it. So tell me, how did it? So how did it end? How did it end? So you just don't talk to the person no more? And how long were y'all friends? You blocked her? How long were y'all friends? I had somebody tell me that I can't just block people. Is that? I mean, we're gonna go over that in another topic. But I think blocking is okay. If you're just done, you should be able to just block. People guilted me into blocking. They say you have to tell us why. I think that's manipulation. Choking. I might have to get some water. Enough is enough. Hold on, I gotta get some water real quick. Hold on. Yeah, enough is enough. Like you get tired of people taking you for granted and stuff. That's tiring. I don't know. Like like a friend, like yo, legit, not even playing games, yo. A friend, a toxic coworker can stress you out more than anything else in your life. Can you believe that? A toxic coworker can stress you out, yeah? More than your regular everyday life stressors? We will have a live where we talk about toxic coworkers because that is something that you can't avoid. Like you have to go to work. Hold on. Let me get some. Hold on, right back. I'm sorry. I'm back. I'm back. All right. So, yeah, we are going to have a live on toxic coworkers, like on coworkers, because I got to get my angle good. But we are going to have a live about dealing with coworkers. Legit. But I don't know. I think a lot of people, instead of like really getting mental health, looking within, a lot of people will just dish it out on everybody around them. Like in a very toxic way. Yeah. So I think that's what we're dealing with. I mean, I don't even think people can control it. I think people are just moving. Like that's it. That's a Vede thing. The worst. What you mean? Is it Rob or Robe? What you mean? What you talking about? So real quick, I just want to define toxic constantly throughout this live. I'm a boss at my job. Just have to deal with it. So I want to tell you something. Is it Robe or Rob? Robe or Rob? Listen, I was a restaurant owner for 6 years, the owner of the restaurant. Okay. I dealt with everything you can deal with. Rob, yeah, I dealt with every personality you can deal with, right? From the people who work for me, different cooks, different managers, even all the customers, right? When we are talking about toxic, I just want to define it real quick. Again, I'm gonna keep defining it throughout this live. Toxic is a person who is mean to you and then nice to you enough to pull you back in just to be mean to you again. That's my definition of toxic, okay? And this manifests in coworkers, lovers, of course, your parents, your family members. Like so many people don't come home for Thanksgiving. It's like a thing. Like people like not going home with these crazy family members. One question about your career choice and you feel all buttoned up, you know? So, you know, we need to identify what this is so that we can manage it better, right? Manage the people in our lives that are causing this toxicity. And it's all about how you feel. You can feel it. You can feel it when you're being mismanaged, right? And I don't know. If you are a boss at your job and you don't have the leisure of firing people, because guess what? If these toxic people are making you feel it, they're making your customers feel it. They're making your other good employees feel it. Toxic employees need to freaking go. They need to go. So my whole point in telling you from my experience of being an owner, listen to me. Listen to me. One bad apple, one bad complaining, just come to work miserable. One bad worker like that can spoil a whole team. One bad energy. You can have a morale so up with your team, and one person come in, right? Think about it. 8 a.m. Oh, this some BS. We in here. They got us in here working all hard. They home. Your good energy employees, they can deal with it for an hour. Now it's 10 o'clock. Then it's 11 o'clock. Now it's noon. And they like, you know what? You're right. They do got us here. These good employees have now been tainted by that one bad energy. I hope you have the power to fire. I really do. Bosses who don't have the power to fire are not really bosses. It's hard to be a boss if you can't fire. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do some sort of Valentine's Day uh topic. Getting close to Valentine's Day. We're gonna do some sort of Valentine's Day topic. See how everybody feeling going into Valentine's Day. It should be interesting. I think we put too much emphasis on like these holidays for real, for real. But I get it. I mean, I get it. Yeah. Toxic people. Have you ever worked with toxic people? Cat? You ever work with toxic people? How you deal with working with toxic people? Yeah. They create a sick environment in corporate America. They create a very sick environment to keep you constantly like on the spinning wheel. They don't want you to get comfortable. That's the psyche of it. They want to keep you very uncomfortable. It's a very toxic environment. It's a shame. Steal your ideas. Yeah. Yeah, we gonna do a live on coworkers because that's something people can't avoid. Like you could pick friends, you could pick significant other, but coworkers, if you work there, unless you switch your job, isn't you can't really you have to figure out how to deal with them, you know? And we'll work on that. We'll talk about that in another because it's a lot of tactics that you can use to really shut down a toxic coworker. And one of the things briefly is just give them as little access to you as possible, have little interaction with you as possible. If it's something that you have to collaborate on, always be very professional. Even if they seem a little nice at one point and you feel like y'all could be cool, don't ever take that opening. That's how you have to deal with very toxic. That's how you have to deal with very toxic coworkers. You're not friends. You're not friends. You are not friends with your coworkers. We'll talk about that on another line. But yeah, these coworkers are not your friends. I wish they were. They're not. The reason why they're not too is because when things, trust me, I've had so many employees in my life. I promise you, these employees turn on each other when their job is at stake. They're not your friends. These coworkers are not your friends. They're not your friend. They're not in an environment to be your friend. Some people get it so twisted, it's a shame. And they get their feelings hurt. So that's what we're dealing with. Thank y'all for bearing with us on these lives. Yeah, hopefully we will be on the different platforms by the end of the week. We will be working on it all week long. So thanks for bearing with us on these rough lives. We are on some rough lives. Yeah, corporate is rough. Corporate is rough. Corporate is something I feel like people should do for a very short period of time to reach certain goals and get out. You don't want to put that level of stress on you, your family, your health long. You just want to use it to get where you need to get to. That's how you do corporate America. All right, I'm actually going to end here. We will be posting the topic for tomorrow. Hopefully, we will be on other streaming platforms and we can bring people on here to talk to us. Talk to me. I talk back.